What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another episode, of course, of Start Swing Trade. We're ready to take a look into the market. It has been a crazy one today. Let's talk all about it. Let's get into the action and let's take a look at the SPY. It seems like we bounced back, especially into some tech names. We can take a look at Apple as being a pure example, right? This morning, down big, able to bounce back, but still not over above the resistance on the hourly. You can see in the morning we had like kind of a resistance around 178.50 here on Apple. And this just goes to show me that we'll see if this tech rally can bounce back for real. Or is this just the slow leak down? Because it seems like we're grinding back towards the upside, but nowhere near as fast as we came to the downside there. Take a look at the Qs. The Qs also getting a little bit of a bounce, but not getting back above the 372.80 spot. That's definitely somewhere to kind of keep an eye out for. If we can come back through there, then yes, you could get some rally coming back into the market. But take a look at Microsoft. Still in the red from the open, right? I mean, this is something definitely that I want to keep an eye out for. Some of these bigger names just struggling along right now. If we take a look at NVIDIA, NVIDIA is not doing the best, right? And I think that we just need to kind of keep an eye out to see what happens here. But man, it's been that day where you see a little bit of some movement. Google staying strong. That's one that I'd keep on my radar. Look at the daily chart. This doesn't look like it wants to turn around anytime soon. So I would have to stick to the good names right now, which have been Google, Amazon, seeing those come back right now. That's not a bad outlook for the tech names. Now, where you got to be careful, more like an Apple or an NVIDIA that keeps getting hit, right? These names I would be careful with. I would probably want to be in Google or be in Amazon versus those two. But hey, to each his own, right? How you guys doing out there? Smash the like. Let me know what you guys caught in the market today. It's been a tough one for sure as of late. And you guys can see industrials coming down big today. So Deere might give me that opportunity to get back down there to 400. We'll have to wait and see and find out. But hey, it's been a battle in the market overall. Utilities in the green today, bouncing back a little bit. Real estate also bouncing back a little bit. Technology just slightly into the green today. So overall, it's not the best day. And some people were thinking, okay, so maybe it goes to like, like Coca-Cola and defensive names. No, we went lower in defensive names. And then financial services also staying in the red here. Let's take a look here. I've been looking at kind of FAZ to see what would happen to that one, see if it could get that break to the upside. It's up there to 1848. Can it get that break? We'll find out. JPM here going lower towards the end tells me something. And I've been talking about it. Will we see some more banking concerns? I'm going to keep ringing the bell because at some point, I feel like we lose another regional bank. And of course, like always, I want to keep you guys informed. And the price action still looks horrible there. Not turning around. Citi making another leg lower. And if you look at the regional banks, they're not doing too much better here. Look at TFC. And man, I was shorting this in the 31s. Should have held that day. Should have gone for a little bit more of a swing on this one. Good little takedown there. And the KRE still getting weak, man. Now all the way down to 42.95 and not showing any strengths by any means. I think if this really starts going through 40s, oh, you're going to start seeing some talk out there. But by then, is it too late? Yeah, it'll probably be too late. Bags, what's up out there? You were able to open a short on KRE today? Well, I hope you got those bags. And I like the Fox. I like the Fox icon there. That's actually a pretty dope looking thing. Did you draw that yourself, Bags? That's pretty dope, man. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is going in the market today. Of course, we can take a look at stocks from you guys if you guys want to take a look at them. Energy slowly turning around today. And this is how easily it can turn around. And this is why I got out of my Chevron. It felt like today was a little bit one of those kind of bull traps to the upside, especially in oil. So I'm going to be careful there because I definitely don't want to get caught on a turnaround in oil. The big thing to watch now is, can we get back into the 88 handle, or are we heading back down towards 85s and 82? If we head back down to 85s and 82, I can see this oil trade just turning right back to the downside. We'll see what happens. XLE trying to make the move back above the daily highs, but struggling up here and now starting to show a couple of wicks, couple of kind of double, triple tops near the closes here around the 91.30 and could easily start to break. We'll see what happens. And I think this just gives you a nice little risk to reward here for the 92. No talent on icons. Don't worry, Bags. I just thought it was pretty dope. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action in the market. Definitely EOG coming back down. MPC, one of the strongest names, actually giving a nice little lift today. So just be careful. It's not all the oil names that we're looking a little weak. And I also keep an eye out on Valero. Valero's been making the move up since all the way down there at 115. Will this start to turn around? Let's find out. We'll keep an eye out on these oil names. Technology, of course, we've talked a lot about those. Let's go to healthcare names, as healthcare names get a little bit of a pushback on healthcare plans. These are just so wild, man. They bounce, they come back. They're hard to trade. I'll be honest. Like Cigna, CVS, United Health, they're not easy trades by any means. We'll see what happens with DocU. DocU has earnings tonight. Doesn't look too bad going into the earnings. I like how it's kind of getting some good volume going into it, but you can see how it ran into the earnings. So let's see what happens. If it can hold and get above 55 on the earnings, this is going to be looking good to get back there towards like 58. We'll find out what happens there on DocU tonight. And there was other stocks, right, that had reports this morning. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of those. Play was one of those. Let's take a look at, of course, Dave & Buster's. And you can see right there, no one was playing around with this one today. It got a little pop at the gates, went right back down from the 37. We'll see what happens there. Another one, ChargePoint. Ooh, came back on the day after an opening wipeout to $5, which is a tough move to get through. We're talking about an opening takedown of 15%, actually a little bit more, close to 17%, and then a run back of 22%. That's how quickly these smaller names can move. This actually looks interesting for me in the next couple of days. If we do have kind of a red day, I could look to come after this for it to move right back down. We'll see what happens. 660 is the next resistance. Right now, holding around 620 as resistance. We'll look to see if it rejects 6 and comes right back down. What's going on out there, team? How we doing? Say hello in the chat, especially if you're new to the show. All right, this is where, of course, we take a look at the swing trading action. And one of the stocks that I have on swing trades, and the only stock open right now, is American Airlines. I've been looking for this one to get to that 14, maybe take an ad down here, but it's just too much risk right now. And the way that the markets just keep coming down, I'm going to hold off and look to see if oil can change tune. Because if oil could come back to that 85, 80, 70 handle, then I could see the airlines bouncing right back to the upside. I'm still holding on right now. And there's not many times that I hold on to a name down 6%. The only thing that's keeping me in this name is that I only have 2/3 of my position. We'll see what happens right now. If this could bounce, there's not many times. And I'm honest, I'll tell you guys, down about 6.29% on this one. We'll see. Will it kind of wipe me and give me a big hit? It could. It could also turn around, and then I could start adding through the 15 spot. We'll see what happens there. Seekin, what's up out there? You looking at Tesla, the Tesla Dragon? Tesla coming back here, and look at the daily. Daily is going to be important now. You did go through that wick action down here towards 243s. And last time it went down there, it went to 242s. So that's a good turnaround there. Now I just got to continue watching on kind of the hourly. Can you get back into the 260s? You get back to 260s, and Tesla might be able to get to 300. But you reject here, somewhere up here towards like 255, 254, and come right back through that 240s. Yeah, you could easily start crushing down. We'll see what happens. It's been strong. That's for certain. Look at the weekly. But if it goes red on the week, be careful. That's a move down below what? 245. It opened up this week. A move below 245 would actually make this weekly candle red. We'll see what happens. So something to watch, right? It could keep going. If it gets to back to that back to that breakout spot right above here towards like this 260, that could give it the room to 270s and 280s. And then from there, we can try to maybe fill this gap from that downside gap here, which was at 280 high towards a low of 289.52. So it could go into the 290s. We'll just have to wait and find out. All right. Of course, we can keep moving. How did AI do today? Getting a hit, but bouncing back into the market. We'll see if this gets hit tomorrow. Looks like it's kind of going sideways right here, rejecting the support that was over here. That's about the 28.22s. Let's see if it gets back above 28.22s and then takes a downside. Bags, what are you looking for? What are you looking at when looking for swings? So a lot of times, Bags, what I'm looking for is starting with sectors and industry, right? Because I want to catch moves that show me kind of bigger moves on the dailies and the weeklies. I like to look at patterns like this, like when this was starting to get above on the sector wide, I could look for energy stocks to kind of make a move. If anything, now what I see on this is kind of more topping. I could reverse on these oil names and play them back to the downside, maybe play this sector to the 50 moving average. But a lot of times what I'm looking at is daily setups, right? How do the daily setups look? Because that's going to play a lot on how I go after it with swing trading. So AAL, for instance, I'm looking at weekly charts and daily charts to kind of determine. Now, when I go to take the actual trade, Bags, this is where it differs. And this is where it gets a little bit different. So I like to use my day trading abilities, the things that I have learned in day trading, like let's say buying off of VWAP, things like that. I like to use that to better my entrance on the swing trade, right? Try to get the best intraday price. But a lot of it is going to be based on hourly charts and daily charts. Those are why I take a look at it. All right, let's keep going. Shubham, you haven't checked our mail regarding thumbnail designers and video edit. We'll definitely get back to you, Shubham. We got a lot there. We kind of take care of the thumbnails right now ourselves, but I'm sure you have some good thumbnails for us. So I'll take a look when I get a chance to email you back. And it might have gone to the spam. So I'll take a look to see if I can find you in my inbox. All right, let's keep going, team. Always trying to show you guys the next possible move. I'm keeping an eye out also to see what happens on the cruise lines, because how the oil trade goes, I think will also affect the cruise lines. If for any reason we could have, oil come back down here, we could get NCLH to kind of turn around and come back to the upside. So I've been trying to keep a close eye on this trade, waiting for the airlines to turn so that I can also go after the cruise lines. We'll see what happens here. This is the same thing. I'm looking at the daily chart. I've seen a nice little pullback. Need to get back above that 9 EMA. Show me some strength coming back. Then we can come after it. Can we take a look at Dell? Of course we can take a look at Dell. Let's take a look. Of course, this stock has been kind of on its own little thing, kind of like a floating island, right? It's on its own little thing here. Of course, it could always pull back into this gap zone. That's around the 63.77. But you just keep having what? Nice little kind of pullback and then an attempt to go higher. It's done this a couple of times now, though, and so you could start running into a little bit of some pullback action. And you can see here on the hourly chart, right? Like I just talked about it. What are the charts that I like? I like hourly charts. I like daily charts. Hourly charts because it shows you where resistance and support is being held. You can see here 70.28, right around that 70.30 is acting as resistance. It pulls back. That's up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Should hold around the 68.45 and then get through the 70 if it's going to make the rule of 3 and get to the upside. Of course, the rule of 3 is one of my strategies that I like to use for triangles, flags, pennants, those types of patterns. All right, let's keep going. Can we go over the SPY? We've talked about the SPY, but let's go to it. I talked about it a little bit earlier, how it seemed like it was holding kind of hourly support as resistance around this 445, right? And so what I really want to see it get back towards is this level here. This is the 446. For the bulls to take back control, if it goes back through 447, it could easily just turn back towards this 450. But of course, you guys can see it. We've been pulling back. We could go back to the 440s and then find a bounce. Same thing for the Qs. You see hourly resistance acting as hourly support acting as resistance now. And we'll see if it can get back above like 374s and make that upside look. Of course, I'd be taking a look at strong names like Apple right now. It's strong on the intraday, but of course, weak on the last 2 days. Will this make a move back? It's made just the smallest move back right now. Boba Plays says, I still believe in C3, bro. They're getting better. And I agree that they have some products. They have some real things. Now, the only thing here is it a true competitive advantage, Boba Plays? Maybe you know more about C3 AI than I do. I'm just saying I don't see any competitive advantage. And I did pay attention to their investor presentation. I even watched on their investor day. I was like, man, I wanted to play this and see nice little upside. It seems to me like it's starting to use 28 and 29 as resistance. And unless it could get back above this line, if it can get back above this line, then yes, I will take a look at it. So you do me the favor, Boba Plays. If you see this get back above 28.85, back into 29s, then yes, I'm all for it. But if it starts to use that area as resistance and goes lower, I definitely want to get out of there. So we'll see what happens. Next spot for me on AI would be a move where it comes back to $20. So that's something that I'm looking at. And I think this eventually gets there. But hey, to each his own if you think to the upside. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Don't look now, but you got a wild animal wandering behind you. Oh, yeah, my dogs, they wanted to hang out today. So they're hanging out here. Hendrix is hanging out. I got the whole zoo. I got 2 dogs. They're all here hanging out, guys. We'll see what happens. My number 1 stock to short, I missed it, team. I missed a huge, huge winner in shorting IonQ. Man, was I upset this morning when I came in and this stock was already falling like 2.8%. Yeah, I wanted to short it at 19, but at 8:15, it had already dropped down towards like 1870. Right at the gates, it opened at 1850 and flushed down to 1750, eventually going below 17 for a nice 10% flush out the gates. And this was one of my top stocks. Yesterday, I was actually shorting this stock and it came back in the afternoon. I ended up having to get out at 950 at 1950s. And boy, what a turnaround there. Now this could be broken. We'll see what happens there on IonQ, but a quick pullback. Will this break down back to 13 to 10? We'll find out. Bag said, I saw it in the morning. Oh, good Lord, man. It's not a loss, at least. It's not a loss, at least. You know, you can't get mad about opportunities that you missed. The only thing you can do is try to stay on top of your game. We'll see what happens on IonQ. If it's able to work back above 18s, that's a danger spot. But if it rejects around here, around the 1785s or the 1780s, yeah, I'll be looking for it to come right back to the downside. All right, guys, it's about 3:56. Any other plays you guys want me to take a look at? Now's your chance. We'll see what else is going on in the market. How did AEO do? I know that PATH did really well. AEO pulling back a little bit. Will A and F break down finally? These stocks don't want to let go right now. They've been holding on pretty well. Now AEO is starting to turn around. We'll see if A and F starts to pull back also. And what I see on A and F, this looks bullish, but what do I also see? I see topping areas at 55.10, or maybe even you just pull it back a little bit lower, maybe closer towards like 55.08. If it can't get above that level, it could easily start using it as resistance. 3 wicks to the upside could be the tricks. And then all of a sudden, it gets to take down. We'll see what happens there on A&F tomorrow. Definitely sending an alert to watch that takedown to see if maybe I go shorting A&F. Snow brought up by Nick. That's not a bad one to keep a watch. I've been talking about how I think this one's going to get the nice little move. Yesterday, I actually got flushed out of Snow. So now it's starting to recover. And look at this. I was drawing this yesterday. What is it? Created on the 6th. Oh, You guys know it. I'm fully transparent. Now it's starting to get back above the 159s. This looks good for the 160 break, and it hasn't really partaken in the rally. So this is one that I actually am going to keep my eye on. I'm going to set an alert at 160.73. We have another bullish day in tech. This could keep going higher. Path with a big move up today to the 18s, and this just shows me that Kathy Wood, she had her buying shoes on today. At least that's what I feel. We'll find out later in the close. But look at the recovery of 17 today on the daily. So next stop for it is right here at this 18. From here, you can make that next move up there towards the 1860s and 19s. Let's see if we can get up to that level on the next couple of days. I would be looking for pullbacks on this because I'm not going to chase into the 18s, but definitely it looked like Kathy had her buying shoes. DraftKings continuing to the upside. And yes, the NFL play was all about DraftKings, but Money Mitch didn't get it this time. I got distracted with Penn and didn't get DraftKings on the pullback. Penn went nowhere. Should have maybe looked at some other names in the sports betting industry. I went for like MGM. That didn't do well. It was all about DraftKings, baby. So anybody that was able to play that, Jared, hey, shout out to you, my friend. Sometimes I'm going to get it right. Sometimes you guys are going to get it right. That's what it's all about. That's trading, guys. So always let me know what you guys are learning from the show, like always. And let me know what winners and losers you have. Let's be transparent. We'll learn from the losers. And of course, we can shake it a little bit when we have a nice little winner. I will see you guys, of course, bright and early on pre-market prep tomorrow. Don't miss it. Go Lions. Go Lions tonight. I have my money on the Lions tonight because I can't gamble here in North Carolina. But who knows what happens in the Bahamas. I'll see you guys like always. Smash the like. We'll see what happens in the NFL tonight. We'll see what happens on Docu that will be reporting earnings. There's not too much on Docu. Dollar General just scares the living hell at me since the earnings. You're thinking that a dollar store could do well, but it didn't do well after their earnings. So it just seems scary to me to go after that DG because it's just a falling knife and you're saying it, right? It's just red since earnings. So it could bounce. You're right. But it's just looking ugly and atrocious in a time when it should be doing great. I remember a stock like that, which was Rocket, and it was doing horrible in the time when it should have done great. It was down here when interest rates were really cheap. Now it's trying to make a move when interest rates are not even cheap. That's how markets can go sometimes, team. There's never one way. And there's one thing that I've always learned. You got to be nimble. You got to be quick. And maybe check out a little bit of swing trading. I'll see you guys next time. Catch you in the morning, of course, on Pre-Market Prep.